When Malbs has a bad game, G2 has a lower win rate than any other player on their roster, including Niko and Monacy, and I wanted to look at exactly why that is. So I brought in Austin.
Hey, what's up, man?
That's not how you don't follow it up.
Dude, I didn't know
we
I
talked
was
about this.
I didn't know I was getting it
Austin.
sent over
Go.
to me, man. Oh, hey, anyway, so it shouldn't come as a surprise that whenever Malbs was having a bad game, G2 is struggling. That's pretty much because Malbs is set up for success the most on this roster. And a lot of these rounds, you're going to see that he is actually trading like some of the star players like Niko, or sometimes he's trading Snacks. But either way, he's always second
But he's
in.
never trading Hunter. Ever.
Never trading Hunter. Very rarely. Very rarely.
Hunter is trading everyone at all times. Okay,
Yeah.
Pistol round didn't count. Malbs went up first. He did go first. Pistol round didn't count.
He did go out first.
Any 4Ks.
But he got a 4K. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Huge success from Malbs.
All right, I don't know how this is. Oh, wait, he double knifes on this round, doesn't he? I forgot about this. Oh, my God.
I haven't watched this one. So
You haven't watched this game. Austin,
I was asleep. I just woke up and I'm here.
So he double knifes on this round, and JL actually kind of gave him a knife. JL actually went for the knife kill. I don't know if JL was out of ammo, but I think JL was playing it for a bit of fun. But I mean, having Malbs with 7K on round 2 is probably not what you're looking for. I've never seen someone drop an AK on round 2. That's actually...
Yeah, that's a really big deal.
That's new. That's new news to me. All right,
Yeah.
so what do you think? What do you think of G2 on Ancient? What do you? Because the question I had to begin with, nice Molly. I was wondering about that Molly. Okay, so the question I had to begin with was, I noticed that Malbs basically the stat is that if anyone has under a 1 rating, G2 are least likely to win if that player is Malbs. In fact, even in this final, they win a game where Malbs it does well, but Niko has under 1 rating on Inferno, I think. And so the idea was that I initially thought that Malbs is going in first, and if he does badly, he's not set up for success. So if he does well, he just carries them, and if he doesn't get the kill, they lose, right? Because basically, I was thinking, I listened to too much Maui Snake or something, I don't know, and I was thinking that Snacks was bad IGL, okay? But then we were talking about this beforehand.
We actually found out it's the opposite, and it's not necessarily that Snacks is a great IGL, but it's more that Malbs is set up for success. On rounds like this, you'll see that he's kind of just controlling all of mid by himself, getting a support flash to contest early, and it's kind of his job to make sure that they have mid control in a round like this. But you'll notice that a lot of times when they're regrouping, he's actually going to come up into the exec and he's going to be baiting somebody like Niko or somebody like Snacks again. And you're just getting to bait, and it looks pretty because you're trading.
Yeah, I'd say, in my eyes, this is kind of one of the rounds I was thinking about where it's like, okay, well, I mean, Malbs is given some help, and then it's kind of a matter of if he dies here, right? If he dies at the beginning of the round, they're just in a bad spot, and it's going to be tough for them to win, right? This is kind of goes in line with what I was thinking initially, but it's I don't know, do you agree with that? Because this is kind of like, I guess it's the space taker role, right, to some extent. Like, would you want to be the guy that Malbs is?
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Malbs is responsible for, he will end up going first, right? Sometimes it's going to happen. If the team takes mid control, he has to go first for a lot of reasons.
Well, he was completely alone there, right?
Yeah, well, kinda. Snacks was with him. Yeah. They got interrupted, right?
Yeah.
I think the idea was to do an A split where Snacks was going to go first with the Mac 10, but Malbs ends up taking first contact. But yeah, sometimes Malbs is going to end up going first because he is the mid defaulter, and a lot of things go into that, like anti-stratting and stuff. So now Navi's going to expect Malbs there. So if they get a kill in mid, and let's say it's Niko, they know that the majority of people are going to be in mid. But if they kill Malbs, they're like, well, it's just Malbs. It could be, anything. It could just be a regular default.
Yeah, so you want him a little bit isolated sometimes,
yes,
like willing to take the engagements.
Yeah, so sometimes he will take a fight early, but most of the time that's not the case.
Yeah, like that was initially what I thought when I watched. I noticed rounds like that where Malbs is kind of set up for, he's set up to do well, but it's like, okay, so basically if he's just getting shut down in mid, then G2's kind of fucked. And if, I was thinking that if he's getting shut down in mid, maybe they just don't have, great options afterwards, like how to deal with that if Malbs isn't kind of just able to walk out. But it seems like they do have, a decent amount of options, and I don't think he does, he doesn't do that much in mid this game, and then they go for a lot of execs where Malbs is, he's the guy, right?
Yeah.
He's exactly what Donk does in Spirit, I think, is a lot of the time what Malbs does here.
Yeah. But, look, if he dies here all alone on a round like this even, they might just lose the round, outright. Look at that pixel gap. I just made a video on that the other day. It's pretty cool. But
Yeah,
but like
so did
if he
here.
dies,
That's
and
in my next
everybody,
video,
yeah,
too.
everybody's making videos on this, and I got told that I was stealing content from somebody. Somebody actually made a tweet about me, calling me a dirty rat. Anyway,
I can't remember this.
no, I actually saw it. I couldn't believe it. It had like 10 likes too, man. Anyway,
that's a lot of likes.
but like. I know, but like, imagine Malbs dies here. He gives over a weapon, and things get out of control because not only is Malbs, and he's one of the better players on G2. He's holding all of the map control for G2. If he dies, they lose A main and mid at the same time, and they're just fucked. Like they can't do anything.
He's in a similar position in a lot of maps too, right? Like he's on Dust 2, he's long control, which is I guess I think it's fundamentally different than mid on Ancient, but it's the same idea where if he dies, they lose a lot of their ability to move throughout the map. Mirage, what he's like usually going for connector control, right? And Inferno, he's apps, I guess, which is like the least impactful. I think like Banana would be the equivalent, right?
Yeah, 100%. So this timeout is called by Navi, and I think it's interesting because after timeouts, typically the T side will call a fast strat, especially if it's the CT team that's calling a timeout.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty meta. I have talked to a lot of players about this in Tier 1, and it's just like, well, we know that the CTs are coming in with a plan this round, so let's just throw this at them so that they get scrambled. And even if we lose the round, they might forget what they talked about, and they might reset. Like, it's kind of just, playing with them. So they're going to go for an A-rush this round, actually. This is actually a spawn-based strat, so the entries are predetermined, but Malbs is going to be throwing some of the supportive utility. He got dropped an extra smoke there, so he smoked house, also CT, and now he's flashing. But he's going to be kind of cleanup crew here. So it's, again, if he doesn't get the trades here, then they're not going to win. I mean,
yeah, so the idea is like, the idea is that he does get the trade. So the idea is that on a lot of these execs, just what we found is that Niko's going to end up going out first a lot of the time. Sometimes it's Snacks. Usually Snacks seems to go out first when it's like a low buy, when he's got a Mac 10 or something. And the idea is that if that player gets an entry, then Malbs is already set up for extreme success, basically, because they're probably going to overwhelm the bomb site, and he's going to end up surviving, which is like a big portion of your rating. And if the first player doesn't get the entry, then it is all on Malbs. Like, either Malbs gets the trade, or they're going to lose. So it's like, it seems very natural that combined with the default, the way they're playing their defaults, if he's under 1 rating, it's because the guy in front of him probably died and then he didn't trade, so there's no way they're winning. And on defaults, if he dies, a lot of the time, I mean, it's a surprising amount of like faith they're giving to Malbs for a player that just came out of tier 2, arguably tier 3, I guess, depending on how you want to define NA, that they're just like immediately putting him in some of the most important positions on T side, right?
Yeah, 100%. This round actually pretty interesting. Another default called. I'm not really sure how Malbs is not dying here. I don't really know. But
are they doing the double flashes?
No, I think they only threw 1 set of flashes. And yeah, it's not a very convincing round. Like, he definitely should have died to Bit here. He's like in the open completely, but by some miracle, he doesn't go down.
Yeah, so Bit gets surprised by the molly. This is why they throw that molly, by the way, that lands up there, because of the run boost. I think in Pugs, you probably don't have to worry too much about that. Just make it land on the box.
Yeah, in Pugs definitely just landed on the box, but it's actually really common for them, especially Navi. They do this strat where Ema likes to make the jump by himself, and he just immediately peeks down Cat. He does it a lot, so I feel like that's a little bit of anti. They just want to make sure that that's not possible. I'm not sure. Malbs gets the kill here, by the way. Okay. This is outrageous.
Yeah, so he definitely probably should have died to begin with. Oh, Snacks gets a kill. Okay, so that was Snacks.
No, wait. No, it says, well, okay, CS2 lens is glitched. My apologies. It says Malbs killed that guy.
Okay, yeah, I got spammed there in a game the other day, and I was like, okay, yeah, I just like to quit the game. I just like to leave right about now. That's just great. That's a nice play.
By the way, look at this. Malbs, he gets baited. Watch this. Look who it is. The main culprit. It's Hunter.
Yeah, we were talking about Hunter before. I'm gonna have to make a video on Hunter. Hunter is. I'm gonna say this one. This is my bait for you guys to watch the later video. Everything people think about Blame F, that he's like this huge baiter, I think Blame F is usually part of the system. He's usually like, he plays passive, but it's usually not like he's not doing anything too crazy. I think he's less of a baiter than Hunter is. That's my hot take.
I agree with him, by the way, but you'll have to watch his video on it later. It's pretty damning when you watch the footage back. But so this round, we have another. This is a set strat, so it's a default fake into a B-pop, right? So to keep up with the conditioning that they've been doing, Malbs throws that molly so that they think that he's still there, and he's gonna run. Look how far, by the way, he runs back. He runs like purposefully on like close to spawn there, so they can't hear him bottom mid. Did you know that? Small little detail there, but it goes a long way because they can actually hear him from bottom mid where they're standing. So if he runs in the
ran, yeah.
Yes, it's a lot harder to hear. I mean, it's still maybe possible, but not as easy. Here you go. Set exec coming in. Malbs finds 2 trades on... I mean, he didn't actually trade anybody, but he wasn't the person that was getting shot at first. It should have been Niko that died, and then Malbs gets both of the trades. So it comes back to what we were saying. Niko's going in first, and Malbs is set up to kind of trade Niko and get into the site.
So this is something that, like, so I see a lot of Reddit comments that are talking about when Niko leaves, should he leave, then you have Malbs will just take over his spots. And on CD side... yeah, that makes a lot of sense. On T side, though, it's going to be a bit of a bigger gap because Niko is kind of... Okay, Wonderful's just full blind, just kills him here. Niko is in... more surprisingly than I would have expected. Like, I really... Before watching this, I would have expected the answer was that Malbs was first out. It's Niko first out more... Oh, he's, like, not fully blind. Malbs is first out more often than Niko... Or, sorry. Niko's first out more often than Malbs is, right? And that's... basically meaning Malbs is the guy. Like, I guess they just think Niko's just a better... He's more likely to get the first kill. Like,
yeah. I mean, he definitely is more likely to get the first kill. He's Niko, right?
Yeah.
And then Malbs is this cracked kid that's like new to CS or like new to this level of CS, and you just let him go crazy, you know? And I think that makes a lot of sense. I mean, what was G2 doing before this, right? Nexa? Was Nexa going second? I don't think so.
It must have been Niko going second. Yeah, it was Hooksy going first, Niko going second. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which, well, I mean, okay, Austin, here's the question I had in my last video that I'll have for you now. Would you rather be second in or third in? If you're doing, like, let's say, like, an A exec on Mirage. You want to be second in? Is that where you want your, like, best fragger, or you want him to be third in?
Well, I'm already third in on Mythic, and I get called a beta, so I think I would rather be second in, because you get to have way more impact, I feel like, and it just seems like the better spot.
You can still get caught off from the side sometimes, is the only, like, problem. You can definitely get shut down. If your entry dies, then you can get caught in the middle of the open.
You're the entry.
Yeah. But you are set up to make a lot more contact. So I guess it depends, maybe, like... how much you like clutching.
The losses are a lot more your fault if you guys are losing, though. That's the thing, right? Like, if you aren't trading your entry, then it's kind of like on you.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, this is another B-pop here where Niko's going first, and
this Malbs actually has to sit behind the... I've seen this a bunch of times that they just, like, they split up here. I feel like Malbs has to go through, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. T2's T-sides are very puggy, and sometimes when you're watching on the radar, you're just like, what are they doing? And this is another one of those rounds where it's like, I feel like Malbs needs to be there, because if Niko dies, it's just a clean a clean opening for Na'Vi.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, it still ends up going that way. So now Malbs has to trade Niko, but he has nothing to go off of.
Yeah, Niko is so spread out that I don't think he really had that many options. Like, I think maybe if Malbs is with him, you think they clear cave there? You think they're planning on swinging on cave?
I think they 100% can.
Yeah. All right, I don't know how... We were wondering how Malbs doesn't get this kill.
Yeah, it looked weird on the radar.
He doesn't die. Okay, he gets...
Monesi shot him.
Yeah, that helps a lot. That definitely helps a lot. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yep. Sounds about right.
So if we're looking at this, I mean, this is a half where Malbs got 4 kills on pistol, right? And then he got 2 kills on one of the execs where he's running in second. Another exec he's running in second again. It seems relatively consistent that... So... Actually, we'll show a couple rounds from a different map, maybe Dust 2, because he's not always second in, but he's almost always playing off of the pressure, like Rops-esque, where it's like your teammates are making the pressure, and then you are playing off of that. And usually Niko, it's like that particle in physics where it's like there's always one that's up, and there's always one that's down, and they're like quantum related, that if like one flips to like an up spin, the other one flips to a down spin across the universe. I don't know why I made this analogy. Even when they're on the other side of the map, usually they're operating as They're all
Yeah.
brain.
No, that makes so much sense. Hey, so look at what happened this round. Navi took fast banana control, and immediately we get a mid round from Snacks. This is a good one. They immediately go into a B pop. There's another one. Like Snacks kind of just.
I actually think you have to give. Okay.
He just makes the same call over and over. I've watched so many G2 keysides now, and Snacks will literally call the same strat 5 times and a half, very regularly.
The annoying thing I've had with Snacks is sometimes he gets into that old school calling style where it seems like it's like go cat, wait on cat, and then hit A. And it's like, can we do something other than just sit 5 cat for the whole round? I feel like that happens sometimes. But at the same time, I do feel like in these late round scenarios, in these like late game, I don't know what you want to call it, like late in the game scenarios, I feel like generally G2 more so than old G2. All right, you can disagree with me on this. I feel like new G2 gets the better of a lot of these calls. Not specifically against Navi. Navi's just better, okay? Navi's just better tactically than any other team. But when I watch these games, I feel like more so than with Hooksy, when the score's like 12-10, 12-9, you know, like into OT.
I don't know if I've seen enough to make an educated statement on this.
They do get, I mean, they are getting absolutely fucking destroyed here.
I mean, they're walking right into a B-pop.
Yeah,
and by the way, another one, look at this. Malbs in second. It was supposed to be Hunter that goes first. No, Hunter was going first.
That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Okay, Hunter's back over here. Hunter's like first. Hunter goes ahead.
Yeah, Hunter's going
peeks
first.
Out, and then he's like,
what? Hey!
No, he always finds a way. He always finds a way. I swear to God, it's always like this, where it's like, oh, I see how this happened, but it happens every time.
Yeah, anybody that plays Team CS, any ESEA leagues, you got that one teammate. There's always that one teammate. He does exactly what Hunter just did. Maybe it's
now
you.
They're not going in, and now Hunter's in front. He's.
Look at this. Malbs is like, all right, man, let's go. Like, I'm waiting for you. He finally, now that it's smoked, he's getting up close. Yeah. Yep.
So I mean,
makes sense.
This is what I think. This is G2. This is G2 in a nutshell. Is like they just walked into a 4-man stack and didn't. It was 4 people there, 1 flanking, or 3 people there, 1 flanking, and they just get all the kills, and they don't have a single player die.
That's the Snacks difference.
All right, so we got 2 rounds from Dust 2. So what you have is Malbs is usually like the long A defaulter, which is usually a spot that I think you're gonna play this off of pressure more often than not, trying to be in the right spot at the right time. But if you walk out, usually you're gonna end up getting completely blasted.
Kind of like Ancient Mid, if you think about it. It's a very similar role.
True.
You want to contest it, and if you walk out through a smoke, you're gonna die.
Yeah, so in this case, it looks like what they wanted probably is that they wanted to make contact on long first because they're going 3 back towards long, and then they have Hunter and Niko on cat. What's going to end up happening is that Niko and Hunter push cat off, and it was like a round where Navi wanted to go back around to take cat control, right? So they're actually going to make contact here, and then what we're talking about is that Malbs often ends up playing off of pressure. This is kind of unintentional in this case, but a lot of the time it is intentional in a similar scenario, right?
Yeah, so what's going on here is that, wow, okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize he one-tapped him, but anyway, what's going on here is Navi's re-aggressing cat, so they know that if there's anyone long, there's only one out long off of the pressure. Niko gets his kill because he's Niko, and then Malbs comes out long, and you saw what happened to Wonderful, and then you pretty much just take the A site for free.
Yeah.
This is like, the idea is you have 2 insane aimers taking fights at both sides of A, and it's very overwhelming to deal with if all goes well for them.
Yeah, it's kind of like a phase thing a little bit. So, like, if you watch phase, right, you can see the comms where a lot of the time it's like, okay, we're going to isolate this player, you're going to get a good, like, a reasonable engagement against this player, and then after that, we're going to, like, we're manipulating the rotates based off that kill. And I think the dynamic between Niko and Malbs is like pretty similar, where it's like, okay, Niko's going to get a decent engagement, and then when he gets that kill, Malbs will find an opening to get aggressive, and I think it can go wrong in exactly the same way too, right?
So round number 8, we'll reference this round as when it all goes wrong. So we have Malbs throwing support utility for Niko, flashes through mid doors, and he's going to get the clean kill. And then what it looks like when we were looking at the first time, when we were looking at it on CS2 Lens, it looks like Hunter baits Niko, but actually that's not what happened at all. It's just very unfortunate for Hunter. He comes out here and he tries to take this fight. Niko walks back trying to play his life at the exact same time JL peaks, and then they both get killed for it. So now that's 4-on-3, and Malbs needs to pick up the pieces, but it is still like, it's an eco. I mean, it's as much of an eco as you're going to get in tier 1. Everybody's always saving. It's kind of boring to watch sometimes, but yeah, so he's going to walk up cat here, and well, You got it. You got it from here.
Yeah. So I mean, the play Hunter made in mid, by the way, is like exactly the play you're supposed to make, especially with the flash from Malbs. The point is to clear out the player close doors. That's actually there. From my last demo review, that exact thing happened. They didn't throw the flash, thinking Bit would be turned and they'd catch him back turn. Bit got a kill. This time they flash, kill him, and you just need Hunter there holding that angle for the swing for the trade. But it's one of those ones where like this, I've seen Blame F get so much crap for situations very similar to that. Oh, why is he just baiting? Because his teammate goes like, if Niko went out first and died, it really looks like Hunter was just baiting. And the reality is like you have to sometimes just rely on your teammates to get kills, and then it can look like baiting sometimes. I think Austin's well aware of that. But okay, so they get the kill in mid. It's kind of obvious, I think, what they're doing here. It's a little bit disconnected, I think, because Snacks he threw something. Yeah, okay, we just can't see it on the radar. So he threw a smoke and molly, trying to draw a bit of a rotate. So he actually drew someone, I think, into m0NESY for m0NESY to get that kill. And I think Malbs feels like he needs to actually activate pretty quickly here because it's obvious that was a fake. They just threw that much utility. I still feel like it would probably always be a good idea. Like, it's almost never a bad idea to molly plat, and they have two smokes. Like, there's no rush, and it's to me it felt kind of obvious that they'd be going back either long or cat here, and so maybe Malbs wanted to go out quickly as a justification for why he doesn't just wait for Snacks, right? Because like in theory, if Snacks is just with him here, this is just a million times better. But now what you end up with is that m0NESY's behind, Snacks is too far behind, Malbs just dies, and there's just no real possibility for trade. And not only that, but we joked about Hunter dropping his util back. If Malbs had dropped his molly to Snacks, then that would have been like trivial to actually molly him out right after, and like m0NESY posts and Snacks mollies him out.
Yeah, I think they just went too fast. It could be anything. It could be nerves, miscommunication. It's just a really messy round, a very sad round to lose in the finals as well, because it's, you're playing against an eco, and if they just slow down like maybe 5 seconds, they probably win this round with no issue.
Yeah, I think that I feel like it must have been a miscommunication, because it feels like from Malbs' POV, it looks like he wants to go out and he feels like he has to find the timing, right? Like he's going out and Snacks isn't even close to with him yet. So it feels like for Malbs' POV, he's like, well, I need to find a timing here before this elevator player rotates over, and so we can actually make our way out. But then he ends up slow enough that it feels like he could have just waited for Snacks. Do you ever you don't molly elevator here, do you? You just molly plat and just swing
I feel
out.
like you either molly CT
Yeah.
or you molly site. Like, I feel like that's the only two options. If you molly CT, you run up and overwhelm him, and so he doesn't have a rotate, or you molly plat, so he's forced into you. Both good options. Surprised that he chose neither. By the way, Alexi B takes that crazy P250 kill. Not a lot of IGLs I know would get that. That's why Alexi B is the new GOAT. Mark my words, in 5 years, Alexi B is going to win 2 majors, 3 majors maybe, and he'll be talked about as the greatest IGL of all time. That P250 kill, that's it. Foreshadowing for the future.
All right. I feel like this is a situation where Snacks almost forgets that the jump up boxes exist.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, right? Snacks has been playing for like 15 years, and they just added that like a month ago.
I've done that a bunch of times already, where I'm like playing the afterplant, and I'm like, I look back towards Cat, and I'm like, why am I looking this way? This is not important. I look back around, and then someone jumps up, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I was looking that way. I can just get shot in the fucking back from these stupid ass boxes, dude. Jesus. You know, Jail's got the best time to damage in the pro scene by like a lot. I wanted to mention that.
Well, that sounds like we have to do a video on it later on.
I wanted to mention that because like he must just have insanely fast reactions.
Or he pre-fires.
Or he's just baiting Bit and just
or he's cheating.
Is that
that's what it is, dude. He can't be this good while being a YouTuber streamer. Like, this doesn't work. This doesn't make any sense, dude. He must just be cheating.
Well, Jail's gonna be the new Yukandar, right? He's gonna join Liquid and then just start to play badly. He's got the personality, he's got the gameplay, he's got like everything. He's got it all.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to see what this
surely
looks
hope
like.
not.
I just wanted to see how quickly he gets these kills.
This round is like actually a perfect storm for everything that could have went wrong for G2.
Yeah. And I mean, even JL gets shot through basically nothing. Like, what the hell is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
What is that?
I mean, you shot him through the corner of the wall, but like barely.
That's close.
Now I'm sure somebody in the comments will say it's CS2.
Yeah, it's CS2.
Come on now.
You got CS2.
You got CS2, right? That's what it is.
All right. Good video. Tell me in the comments that you want to subscribe to my Patreon, demo review, Austin CS, whatever channel.
Yeah, check out Austin CS's channel. It'll be linked in the description. First link. Click it.
Coolio.
Go sub.
Coolio. I wanted to make a meme video where I was like, oh, we know how this final's going to go. So I just record a video of like a demo that's from a different matchup. And I'm just like talking about how G2 lost.
Yeah.
It would have been pretty epic memes.